Hello my dear health seekers, Inga from Health Origins here, and today I've got an exciting recipe for you. I'm going to be making vegan chicken, but this time it's absolutely whole foods chicken, so there's no gluten involved. So this is suitable for gluten-free people as well. So let's begin. So pretty much your main ingredient is dried shiitake mushrooms. So you can see I've got 2 cups worth of shiitake mushrooms there or thereabouts. And all you need to do, you need to put them in some kind of small bowl and then pour boiling water on them, because we need to rehydrate the mushrooms. So just pour so that it covers it pretty much. I mean, they do rise to the surface, but I've got a plate here that I'm gonna put on top to just so that you know, the steam also gets the mushrooms soaking. So we're gonna be soaking these for 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes, the mushrooms have soaked. So now basically what you need to do, you need to take a mushroom and then slice them into thin strips. So just like that, so slice them into thin strips, all of these. If you see a bit of a stem, you can take that off and slice it separately as well. And it's important that you slice them in these thin slices, because that's what's going to give us the chicken texture later on. So now all the mushrooms have been thinly sliced, and keep this mushroom water as well, because we'll need some of it for frying. Now on to the frying part. So I'm going to put my induction hob on here. We're going to preheat our non-stick pan, or you could use stainless steel one as well, but I think non-stick is a little bit better. So an optional ingredient here would be an onion chopped really small, diced really small. I like adding and starting frying the onion first just to bulk up the chicken, but it's optional. So I'm just gonna do a plain vegan chicken for you. So my pan is now hot, so I'm gonna add my mushrooms in here. In fact, because I'm using a bit of coconut milk, you could add that first. So all I'm going to use is about a teaspoon of coconut milk solids that you get from a coconut milk tin at the top. You know, the coconut milk that settles at the top. So that's just a little bit of kind of extra fattiness here, because obviously we're not using oil or anything like that, but I'm using this teaspoon of coconut milk just to give the mushrooms this mouthfeel of kind of fattiness, how a chicken would be. So you could add that first and melt it. It's probably going to be better, but anyway, I'm going to just mix that in. And I'm gonna add about a couple of tablespoons of this mushroom water, just so it's got a little bit of liquid here to start kind of heating through and frying. So we're gonna dry fry this for maybe 2 to 3 minutes now. By the way, the coconut milk bit is optional. You can totally skip this if you're trying to lose weight and don't want that extra fat in there. So now, as you can see, they're getting quite nice and golden on the sides here. So I'm gonna add the rest of the ingredients. So we need 1 tablespoon of my chicken seasoning. So I'll link in the card above and in the description below how you can make your own chicken seasoning. So about a tablespoon of that, so I'm adding here. And since we didn't add onions here, I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of extra onion into this mix too. Onion powder, I mean. So onion powder. And then we need 1 tablespoon of white miso paste. So we're not adding any salt or anything. This will be our salt here. In fact, actually, I think I'll go with half a tablespoon because it's not a massive amount. So yeah, half a tablespoon of miso paste should be sufficient for this amount. So that, and then I'm gonna add a few tablespoons of this liquid to just incorporate everything. So maybe about 4 tablespoons. And just mix it all in. Yeah, it still feels dry, so I'm gonna add some more. Another 4 tablespoons, because you want a little bit of liquid at this stage, because we're going to be closing a lid and letting it steam through for the last 5 minutes. So yeah, so make sure there's a bit of moisture there. So maybe I'll add another tablespoon, and then we're going to close the lid and let this saute in its own juices for the last 5 minutes, and reduce it kind of on medium low. So I'll reduce it a little bit more, and yeah, so we'll leave this to saute for 5 minutes, and we're gonna check it. So it's been 5 minutes. This has been cooking, sauteing. I've added a couple more tablespoons of water actually, because it wasn't quite enough. So I'm gonna add a couple more here, so we've got some moisture, because the mushrooms are actually absorbing quite a lot of moisture. So that is that. So I'm gonna switch this off now, and I'm gonna be putting this this mushroom mixture into my jug, because this is the last step of how to make this to feel and look like actual chicken strands. So I'm gonna bring my stick blender, and we're gonna just slightly gonna blitz this to break up into fibers, and that's how it'll have this distinctive chicken look. So I've got my stick blender here. It's Bamix. I'll link down below if you wanted to get similar or the same kind of blender. So I'm just gonna lightly blitz it on the first power, not too much, because I just want to break it up slightly, but not to make it into a mush. So here goes. Because the mushrooms are quite rubbery, so yeah, so that will break them into kind of more chicken-like fibers. Right, so I think this is pretty good. It's not too kind of smooth. I'm gonna just switch my stick blender. Oops. That's what happens when you actually prepare food and in real life and not on camera. So there you go. Bits of mushroom flying everywhere. So just clean that off. And then we've got our finished product. So I'm gonna just place this in the container here. There you go. So that's, you have the complete chicken. And like I say, I would suggest adding some chopped onion as well when you're frying, but let me taste test this for you. So this is completely whole food shredded chicken. So let me try this. I think it actually needs a little bit more salt. So maybe you could have added a tablespoon of miso paste instead of a half a tablespoon. But you know, it's got a little bit of chewiness and some bigger pieces, you know, where it's blended up more, then it's quite nice and soft. So yeah, so like a chicken would, it has a few different kind of textures. This is really good, and it definitely tastes like chicken because of the spices. Maybe you could add a tablespoon and a half, just if you want even more that kind of chicken flavor. But yeah, this is great. So this can be used in wraps, you know, or in any recipes where you would add some kind of shredded chicken. So I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. If you're new here, welcome, and subscribe for more videos and experiments like this on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and also weight loss tips. And as always, remember, food is fuel, so be mindful of what you put in the body. Until next time.